My name is Ayana Pender, and I love speaking and mentoring to individuals with spinal cord injuries. And the reason why I love it is because I am a spinal cord injury and I do know the challenges that I suffer with. And I like to help others that has challenges as well as I have the same challenges. Life before my injury was great. I was 16 years old. You're in high school, you go into dances, you go into field trips, everything didn't have boundaries. And I liked that. My injury occurred June 23rd of 1993. I was caught up in a crossfire, shot accidentally in New Orleans housing project. When the bullet hit me, I fell immediately to the ground and lost the use of my legs. This was my ninth grade in high school, the summer of my high school. So I was going to 10th grade. So it was kind of a challenge because I was in school walking and then I'm going back to school in a wheelchair. You had so many questions from classmates. You had so many questions from teachers. So it was a bit overwhelming, I can say, as being a child and not being able to answer questions. And I found that I grew up fast. I wanted life to be important. I wanted to learn from my situation, and support systems is the best. And my support system that I had prior to my injury, my mom, she was in church. We prayed in the morning, and never I did understand the power of prayer at that time. When I sustained my injury, I realized that that's where my strength came from. I thought more about how to become independent, how to do things on my own, how to not depend too much on my mom. I was trying to make life like it was when I was 16. I didn't have to depend on her getting me dressed and things like that. And it was only for a moment that she had to get me dressed and stuff. And eventually I began to catch on. Luckily, the school that was going to was handicap accessible. They had an elevator in it. So it was wonderful that I didn't have to change schools. They had bathrooms that was accessible for me. It was just kind of frustrating. All of this was new to me. I didn't know that spinal cord injuries get looked at differently. It seems like I got more friends with my disability. I think because of the positive attitude. And when you have a positive attitude and you're doing things that makes you happy and others happy, you draw a lot of people near you. I think that because I was still young, it was an advantage because in your mind, you still have that child instinct that if I fall, I'm a fall and I could get up and dust myself off. And looking at a disability as you're like, so what? A disability, I mean, I could beat this. I felt like I was able to do anything. I mean, I have two kids. They thought that, okay, well, she's not going to be able to do this, but you're just looking at a wheelchair. You're not understanding me. Look at the person in the wheelchair and not the vehicle that I travel with. My mom told me, I remember when the incident happened and she said, it happened to one of my strongest children because she has 5 kids and I'm the baby. And she said, if it would have happened to any one of them, she said, I don't think they would have made it. So I appreciate, the strength that she looked at in me, knowing that I knew she was going to make it. I knew she had a good head on her shoulders, and I knew she was going to triumph. And I'm still triumphant till this day. My most surprising accomplishment has been first having 2 kids. My daughter is 23 and my son is 16. To have my kids and be able to take care of them. Actually, my mom, she always said, all of my kids, I had to move back to the house and help them with their babies. She never had to come and move back to the house with me and help me with the kids. And then my next accomplishment was going to school and being able to finish high school. I completed high school with my class. I was hospitalized. I think it happened in June. School started in August. The ending of August, I was ready. I went to therapy and I told them I want to walk across the stage. And for my graduation, I walked across the stage with RGOs. RGOs is a brace that you put on your legs. It's a gait range. So when you kick out one foot, the other one follows behind, and it has you sitting straight up and you walk with a walker. So it felt good to be able to see what a person that's standing up is being able to see. I finished school for medical assisting. I was a unit secretary. I worked in admitting. I've been working in a hospital since 1999. I just finished a mentoring class with United Spinal Cord Association and with our chapter here in Louisiana, because I also want to mentor other spinal cord injuries that at the age of 16 that may not have the same opportunities and the same attitude that I had when I got injured. I want them to know that life doesn't end. Keep going and you push forward, and you can do anything you want to do despite of your limitations. My passion is to open up my own nonprofit organization here in New Orleans. I have a couple of friends that they feel like, I'm in a wheelchair and all they do is sit home, and because the city is not accessible. And if a lot of us get together and a group of us get together, we could kind of like make a difference in New Orleans and kind of like put that past behind us and make it more accessible for us. Here in Louisiana, it's kind of hard. Not even just the sidewalks, it's housing. I own my own home. Thank you, God, because I was trying to find a home for a friend, and looking for handicap accessible housing is extremely hard. You have landlords that don't want ramps on their homes because they say that it takes away from their property value. We need more stores that's accessible, restaurants when you go in, and teaching establishments and stores to not stare. When you go into places and you have the waiters or the employees or people like that, they stare. Keep your head up high, pay attention to your body, get to know your body. Your body is going through so many changes, things that you're not used to. So you have to pay attention to yourself more. Everything is like a time management. Your bowel program and catheterizing on time, pressure reliefs, that's very important because it prevents you from being in the hospital in the long term. I look at life as I've had the best of both worlds. I did have the opportunity to walk, and now I have the opportunity to look at life in a different way. I've been in a wheelchair since I was 16, and actually I'm 43. So walking is not the first thing on my list. Mentoring and getting everybody else on the same page and looking at me as an individual and not as someone as a spinal cord injury.